I think another stop you should make here in Kigali is at the Hôtel de Mille. That's because something very important happened here and even became a movie, Hôtel Rwanda movie from 2004. So essentially during the genocide, the manager here of this hotel, it's a Belgian hotel, belongs to a Belgian owner, but the manager was from Rwanda. And during the genocide, a lot of Tutsis came here to try to find protection. He did protect more than 1,000 Tutsis here from the government troops, the Hutus that were killing all the Tutsis. Hello, a new day. Most places here, they accept credit card. But if you need cash, have a lot of ATMs around here as well. About transportation, you saw us using motorcycles. It's super easy to use motorcycles here. There's a million of them. You just negotiate directly with them. Just be careful. Ask a local, maybe a friend or someone in the hotel to know more or less how much it is to cost to go to a certain place you want. And as far as rideshare app, they don't have Uber, but they have the Green Africa rides, which is only with electric cars. You can download the app. We haven't used that yet because we couldn't find a car. And the Move from Volkswagen. It's not great, but it's the better option here. Yango, which everyone used, we couldn't certify our phone number. We tried a bunch of phone numbers, didn't work. I don't know what's going on there. So this is the famous Rolex here in Rwanda, like an egg with pastry. Got it? Rolex, Rolex. So we are here working out at this gym here, the health hub. Like we are traveling for 45 days, right? So you can't just keep traveling, eating badly and don't exercise. So now we are having, they have this smoothie bar here and we're gonna have this one. Green protein, oats, coconut milk, peanut butter, banana milk and spinach. Very yummy. And look at the view here from this cafe. The stadium is right there. Super good. Chin chin. I think another stop you should make here in Kigali is at the Hôtel de Mille. That's because something very important happened here and even became a movie, Hôtel Rwanda movie from 2004. So essentially during the genocide, the manager here of this hotel, it's a Belgian hotel, belongs to a Belgian owner, but the manager was from Rwanda. And during the genocide, a lot of Tutsis came here to try to find protection. He did protect more than 1,000 Tutsis here from the government troops, the Hutus that were killing all the Tutsis. And there was a whole standoff between the government troops, the hotel manager, the UN troops. They were trying to protect also the Tutsis here. Some people eventually died, and these are their names. They are some of the staff here. But eventually most of the Tutsis here were rescued by the UN troops, took to safety. And again, you can watch the dramatization of these events in the movie Hôtel Rwanda. Good movie in my opinion. And the UN troops had this dual mission, like they couldn't protect the Tutsis, wasn't exactly their mission. Their mission was to protect the Europeans, so it was kind of a complicated issue here. There's a nice view from the restaurant. You can come here, have a coffee, have something to drink, something to eat, and have this nice view. So you can see like it's kind of a fancy hotel, has all those kind of safaris cars that you see a lot of in Tanzania and Kenya. And these ones is like Uganda, Rwanda, you see in the cars. They do dual safari in the two countries because they are small countries. These guys had fun. Whoa. And here from the top restaurant at Hôtel Mille, you can see a very nice view of Kigali. Worth a visit. So this hotel is right by the city center. So you can do it in the same part of your visit, the city center and here. And a couple of more attractions here in Rwanda that you can't miss, obviously, is the Volcanoes National Park, where you can see volcanoes and the famous gorillas, but is extremely expensive. The tour itself, but especially the government permit. And you can see the gorillas here in Uganda and Congo. Congo is the cheapest one, but it's kind of in a war. So it has the pros and cons. It's a little bit elitist if you think, or just rich people can see the gorillas, but at the same time, Rwanda is not a super rich country. So if you have something that valuable, why not charge the most of all the rich foreigners who want to come here and see the gorillas? So probably I can see the gorillas, but I understand why the government is doing that, and I kind of agree with them. You also have the Akagera National Park. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, where you can see the big five, right? Lions, leopards, buffaloes, rhino, elephant. So you can see all of them in the same national park. And Lake Kivu, which they share with Congo. It's a beautiful lake worth a visit. We are not doing that right now because we've been traveling for a while in this region here. And we've been to Ngorongoro Crater in Tanzania. We've been to Kilimanjaro. We've been to a bunch of places. We've seen all the animals. So we are trying to be more on a budget and learn more about the country itself, not so many the tourist attractions that you can see in a lot of countries. And that's the Panorama restaurant, fine dining here on top of the Hotel Mille with this amazing view. And now we are here in the same car-free zone that we were a few days before in the city center. It's 7:30 p.m. Easy peasy, super safe. Everyone walking around, chilling. Not many places around this region you feel safe like that during the night. Pretty cool. As always, I'm drinking yogurt. Cheap source of protein. Yeah, no, Nikki was laughing at me. So this is the Nyarutarama neighborhood here in Kigali. It's the fancy neighborhood here. A lot of the embassies, the NGOs, headquarters and everything, they are in this neighborhood. So you can see here everything's kind of nice. You have the embassy of Uganda, which is super important. It's their closest neighbor. And right there, the famous convention center, which is one of the main points of interest here in Kigali. So right over there, you can see the big stadium, and the name is, I don't know if you can see, Amahoro Stadium. Amahoro, we use to greet people. If you actually translate it, it essentially means peace. Pretty cool, right? Like in Brazil, they have a lot of motorcycles here. And right on the side of the convention center, you have the Republic of Rwanda, Parliament of Rwanda. Can you see? And the Parliament, the Senate and everything. And another museum on learn about the genocide. And the Parliament, just there, the entrance. And here, the Kigali Convention Center. And it's pretty cool, this little street, because it's like a car-free zone again. So you can just walk around and chill. It's pretty safe. Look at all the things they're building over there. They're planning to build. It's incredible. Few more years, this place is gonna be quite cool. It's already cool. It's gonna be even cooler. Look at that. Whoa, this is even a better view of the convention center. Very cool. And to finish up here, the convention center, a red, some blue. You're gonna stay there. And this is kind of another little place where people just stay sitting down, chilling, dating. Nice here. Another little cool attraction that you can miss here in Kigali. They have free Wi-Fi here. And since I'm Brazilian, the Brazilian embassy here, pretty close to the convention center there. Pretty cool. Now we are back in our little hotel. Need to rest because tomorrow we have to wake up very early to catch a bus to Kampala, Uganda. But before that, why the international society didn't intervene with more UN troops or a separated intervention force or everything. So why not? What happened historically during that period, beginning of 1994? What just happened a few months before, also here in Africa? I gave you guys a clue that the Belgian Peacekeeping Memorial in Kigali, Black Hawk Down, the Battle of Mogadishu in Somalia. So just a recap, the United Nations, and remember when you say United Nations, it's like the countries that send troops the most are from India, Bangladesh and Pakistan, because you get paid when you go to those missions and everything. They're poor countries, they have a lot of people, so they are glad to contribute. There was a famine in Somalia, and then United Nations with military support of the United States intervened in Somalia to actually, like, I think was kind of a benevolent act. Somalia itself doesn't have any geopolitical importance, not that many resources. If you need to build a base or anything, you just build in Djibouti, which is pretty close by. So the United States had just won the first Gulf War. They destroyed Saddam Hussein's military, and they say, okay, let's save the world now. The Cold War is over. Let's use our military to bring peace and stability to the rest of the world. And then they went to Somalia with the UN troops. They wanted to arrest the leader of the rebel group who was killing and stealing food. They got into Mogadishu. In that specific operation, the rebels shot down 2 Black Hawks, that's the helicopter, and killed 18 American soldiers. Quite a few Delta Force, which is like the elite of the elite of the elite of the American military, and some Rangers, which are pretty elite as well. You can see how old I am. I remember the situation. People literally dragging the bodies of American soldiers through the streets of Mogadishu, like eating the hearts and everything. So put yourself in the place of an American looking at that and say, no way you're gonna send American troops again to Africa to try to intervene in a civil war. Because at the time they just thought it was a civil war. They said absolutely not even think about it. That was the United States, but obviously every single other country in the world saw what happened to the United States in Somalia, I think less than 6 months before. And everyone said the same. Absolutely no way we're gonna send troops and have the body of our soldiers drag on the streets like that. They call it the Somalia syndrome. That was a huge reason why the international community didn't send more soldiers, didn't want to get bogged down in the civil war that eventually they figured it out was a genocide. And obviously we can say we should intervene, doesn't matter, it's lives, important lives and everything. Rwanda itself didn't have many resources, nothing geopolitical importance. That plays a role as well, let's be honest here. If there was a lot of oil there, things might have changed. We found a place to eat, we continue this conversation soon. And look how cute Jinja is. also important. About 130 UN troops died in the same period in Somalia. And they were most from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and so on. So you can say, you should send troops. Doesn't matter, you should save the people and everything. But is that you who are going there to fight? Or is it your country who are going to send soldiers? Or it's India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, and you don't care? So all those things we should not do. We have to think really well what are the consequences if you do something like that. Speaking of geopolitics and Rwanda, a little bit like all the other countries in the region of the Great Lakes, China is getting much more present here. You have the train from Nairobi to Mombasa in Kenya, built by the Chinese. We took this train actually. When you got to Burundi, watch my video about Burundi, it's complicated. But when you cross the border from Tanzania to Burundi, the roads are kind of okay, and they were built by the Chinese. But outside that, in Rwanda and Uganda, we are here in Uganda, so we wanted to have a summary of this region. Also a lot of Chinese investment, but specific about geopolitics. I think you've been following the conflict in East Congo around Goma, which borders Rwanda. The rebels M23, they are fighting the government. According to a report of the United Nations and some other countries, the M23 rebels have the support of the government of Rwanda. Rwanda says no, we don't support the rebels and everything, which brings us to Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda. He's been the president since the genocide. He was the leader of the rebel group, Rwandan Patriotic Front. And some people compare him to Lee Kuan Yew, the founding father of Singapore, which was, some people say it's a benevolent autocrat. As the president of Singapore, he's a kind of an autocrat, but most people see him as benevolent. He constructed the country from what happened in the 1994 to this little powerhouse in the region today. So that's why people call the Singapore of Africa. So he's a controversial figure, but what's important is like, it's not if he's good for me or for you, doesn't matter. If the people of Rwanda believe he's a good leader, I guess that's how it is. And Singapore had some semi-autocratic leader for many, many years, quite restricted position, and everyone likes Singapore, everyone's cool with Singapore. So we have to be careful, not judge just because it's a country from Africa, and we don't use the same level of criticism with Singapore, for instance. Important to mention why Rwanda would be interfering in Congo. There is things to do with the Tutsi-Hutus relationship, let's say, but also the region of Goma in East Congo is very rich in natural resources. So some people are saying also Paul Kagame, Rwanda, wants to have access to these resources and manage them and sell to whoever invests on them. So that's one of the reasons. Going back to Singapore and Rwanda, that's a perfect example of a benevolent semi-autocrat. And some people say autocracy works, that we don't need democracy is too messy and everything. Yeah, but when you're gonna have a benevolent autocrat? In the history of the world, how many benevolent autocrats did you have? But how many terrible autocrats you had? Look at Maduro in Venezuela. The people of Venezuela have been trying through protests and everything get rid of Maduro for decades, and it's impossible. And then they're stuck with it because the military is aligned with the autocrat. I know democracy are messy, but I still prefer a democracy. You have like discussion and you can kind of vote out the person you don't like, and you might get someone who has to do some dealings with the opposition to get things passed, things done. It's not ideal, but it's the least worst option, would say, right? And we are at the bus. Here you can see that's the bus station. I'm gonna show we buying the ticket. We just bought our bus tickets from Kigali to Kampala in Uganda. This part is sold because in a few days we're gonna go to Uganda. And this is the bus station here. There's a lot of people, it's a little bit stressful, but much better than other bus stations we saw around East Africa. So
I'd say the best one we've seen so far.
Yeah. And we bought with Trinity for $20, the equivalent. And I think it's one of the best. The other option is Jaguar over there. There's a huge market here, right by the side of the bus station. If you need anything cheap, that's the place. This is our bus, Kampala, Kigali. So we bought the ticket there a couple of days before, but this is really good. Like we got the first place. I heard there's internet, I'm not sure. It's a good bus. The end of an era. My watch strap broke. It fell on the floor and a guy took it and gave it to me. I didn't notice. Not many places in the world that would happen. Well, I don't have a watch, but people are very honest here. Really cool. Actually, these watches are crazy. I had like so many of those. They last forever, the watch itself, but the straps always break. And again, 100% electric bus here in Rwanda. Super cool. Interesting. This Trinity Express goes all the way to Juba, the capital of South Sudan. So if you're thinking about connecting these countries, it's a good option. We even have free water here. But we are always afraid to drink, right? Because you never know about bathroom. So we always get dehydrated during these trips. Always a lot of motorcycles. And they have AC. A lot of rain, but the roads are great here in Rwanda. Let's see if in Uganda the roads are as good as here. Getting to the border. Not anymore. That's so sad. And welcome to Uganda. The trip is pretty good. We have a lot of bathroom stops. We have internet, and you can charge your phone down here. And you can even watch some, like, I don't know, Christian music. I fix it with a stapler. And we are back here in Uganda to conclude our Rwanda video. I think it was interesting because we could absorb a little bit more what you saw in Rwanda and also compare a little bit with Uganda. Uganda didn't go through the same violence that Rwanda have, although they were very much affected by what happened. But it was good to see how Uganda is doing quite well, actually. Surprised us as well. So to conclude, Rwanda was quite profound to learn even more about what happened in 1994 and see how low human beings can go. But at the same time, gave me, at least me, I don't know about you, a lot of hope that a country after 31 years and one of the worst atrocities in the 20th century was able to be like a phoenix, rise from the ashes and become like a pretty decent powerhouse in the region here in Sub-Saharan Africa, East Africa. That gives me a lot of hope that if the right leaders and the right mindset, we are able to really progress. Like they are not different from any other country, any other people, the humans themselves. If they were able to do that, any other country is able to do the same. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If I said anything wrongly, probably I did because was a lot of data, a lot of information there. Please let your comments in the comments area and let me know what you think about some of those interesting policies that Rwanda has, their government, which is a little bit more autocratic, but at the same time gave a lot of benefits, like improved the country a lot. I would like to know your opinion about that. And if you have finally any questions about traveling Rwanda, leave your questions in the comments area, then I'm gonna try to help you. And if you haven't done yet, please like and subscribe to the channel. Still a small channel, you can see there. So every like and every subscribe really helps the channel grow. Until the next time.